Okay, another issue about the technology here, we have your state-sponsored hacktivism and software. Pag sinabing hacktivism, they try to hack here some of the, eventually some of the mga website. So it's a software because again, it's a silent war occurring in the social media. So the main function nito is just to influence the general public about certain political issues. So like, gusto nila hikayatin ang madlang people, the public here, to side for particular issue lang. So gagawin nila, magkaroon sila ng black propaganda. They try to hack your certain website. And what they're going to do is to influence the public about their perspective, about their views about certain political issues. So ang naging issue nito, they try to invade the cultural and political privacy, independence of the general public. The next one we have here, enhanced pathogen. Enhanced pathogen here are those microorganisms, so that may be in the form of the bacteria, the viruses, or fungi, where they try to study the structure, the morphology, or the genetic makeup of those microorganisms in the laboratory. However, here, ang nangyari dito, by studying that one, they try to alter the genes of those microorganisms. Ang nangyari ay nagiging nag-mutate sila. And that result here to the production of your emergent diseases like your SARS, your MERS, CoV, and we have your COVID-19, di ba? So, that's, I believe na laboratory acquired or produced ang COVID-19. And that came from mga zoonotic ito, animals. Pero kasi it tried to study that one in the laboratory. So baka naka-escape sa laboratory. Because of that, they were able then to alter their genes, the genetic makeup, nagiging virulent sila lalo. And hindi natin alam ang extent ng kanilang mutation process. So, nagiging severe manifestation sila. And that's, ang issue nito, it could be an agent of your biological terrorism. Number 6, we have your non-lethal weapons. So, non-lethal weapons here are weapons which are manufactured not to kill the person, but rather to suppress or only to arrest or to disperse, for example, yung mga protests. Example ng non-lethal weapons, like for example, mga sprays, mga blinding weapons, mga sonic weapons, heat weapons, or even your tear gas. So, yun ang ginagamit only to disperse sa mga nagpo-protest. Pero kasi, ang ethical issues nito, pwede itong gamitin as their mode, or pwede itong gamitin to torture an individual. Like for example, for those mga suspects, for the certain crimes, ginagamit nila ang mga ito, like mga, di ba, mga sonic weapons, electric weapons, something like that. And that would enable them to get, or to force the patient, or to force the suspects about, to give information to them pag nag-interrogate sila. So, yun ang naging issue dito. Pwede siyang gamitin as para ma-torture ang mga individual. 7, we have here the robot swarms. This is inspired in the swarming activity of the insects. Pag sinabing swarming, they try to group and try to perform one activity. So, based on that, the Harvard University has actually tried to produce here a kilobots. Kilobots. Okay, sabing kilobots is our group of robots. The group of the robots here that's being programmed primarily to perform certain action or activity lang. Ang problem, ang ethical consideration nito ay baka mag-malfunction, 'di ba, mag-breakdown ng robots. Hindi natin alam kung anong tendency ng robot. Baka makasakit or makapatay ang robots. Okay, another one issue here, we have artificial life forms. So, artificial life form is production of the artificial life primarily by introducing a synthetic DNA. So you have your already existing na organism. So meron tayong organism na buhay. What you need to do here is just to devise a synthetic DNA. So pag sinabing synthetic, gawa sa laboratory. So gagawin mo ay i-insert mo yung synthetic DNA to your existing organisms. So that would enable you then to like allow you to perform your existing organism to perform particular activity or produce a particular product that is dependent on kung ano ang synthetic na DNA na ginawa mo. But then again, ang problem with this one is since you are altering the organisms, again, we don't know what might happen to your organisms once you try to introduce a synthetic DNA. Again, baka naman magiging ano ulit ito, agent of your biological terrorism. Number 9, resilient social ecological system. So these are just the programs of our government basically to help your problems related to your poverty. So we have also here your economic globalization and global warming. Um, the problem with that, like for example, an example nito, your cash incentives, for example, coming from the government, mga 4Ps natin. Ang ginagawa ng government natin, they are giving money for them as their assistance for those mga poor, mga in need na mga families. Ang issue doon, okay naman, okay, bibigyan mo sila ng money. Ang issue doon ay, you are teaching them, naging highly dependent sila sa government. Nawawala ang kanilang will to find a stable job. So, nagiging highly dependent sila sa government. I think really, it's not really the answer for poverty, but rather, mas lalo mo silang tinutulungan na magiging ano, na hindi, what do you call this one? Lalo mo silang tinutulungan na hindi magsipag kasi they are they are thinking na since okay, the government is giving them the money, okay, so just okay naman kahit hindi tayo magtrabaho, di ba? Just bibigyan naman tayo ng money. So yun ang naging issue doon. And the last one we have here brain to brain interface. So it's just allows you then to the brain to brain interface is actually developed here by the University of Washington, and it's a type of the interface wherein the sender, receiver, or two or more person here would allows them to send a message through an interface. So, ang ginagawa nito ay, so, kakabitan mo lang ng device sa kanyang head ang patient. So, that would allow them to communicate by through a signal transmission. It's being read by the electrocardiogram. Okay, so ang problem with that, since they are sharing information, ang ethical consideration for that ay it might result to the loss of the information or it might transfer information, it might lose or add information to the patient. At the same time, baka ma-retrieve niya ang information ng isang tao. So, nare-read niya ang mind ng isang tao, like between the sender, the reader, and you are already violating the privacy of the sender or the reader. Okay, so those are disadvantages and ethical consideration about your science and technology. Okay, thank you.